So guys, just to let you know, a guy did thumbs down one of my videos and
his testicles became swollen.
So I did a little video related to this yesterday about how this channel Fox News has been doing a ton of kind of anti-vax content. A lot of these right-wing channels, you know, Fox News, Tim Pool, all this crap. All of these people who like to
beat a kid in Walmart
have been doing a ton of anti-vax content, especially Fox News. And then this hilarious story came out pretty recently, which I will read to you.
Which I will now read to you.
Nearly all Fox staffers vaccinated for COVID, even as hosts cast doubt on vaccine. More than 90% of Fox Corporation staff inoculated, according to a memo announcing daily testing for unvaccinated employees. So not only are they 90% vaccinated, which I think the entire country right now is like around 60 or something. They're 90% vaccinated. Not only that, but instead of the weekly tests that I guess Biden was trying to mandate or whatever, they're doing daily tests.
But counterfeit vaccine cards that might allow people to get around insane vaccine mandates, which are immoral and unconstitutional? No. Those people need to go to prison. That'd be very bad for America's health.
Do you mean to tell my butt that... Do you mean to tell me that Fox News was not being honest?
Keep that little smug!
Are you trying to tell me right now that Fox News doesn't respect their viewers? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't. So, obviously, anybody who watches this channel, this is probably not anything new, right? Anybody who watches the
Arun Brown
channel, as it's known, probably could have guessed that this was the case. But there's something more interesting about this. And, like, we kind of been hearing a lot about this anti-vax crap. But I've never really taken the time to look into how did this get started, this modern version of anti-vax sentiment.
How did this
party
get started? So let's get in our, guys, you know what's coming. Let's get in the learning car and check out about this. And I say, hey, you better fix that attitude.
His testicles became swollen.
Make pee-pee.
So I read a ton. I read as much as I could about where this modern anti-vax movement came from. And there's a couple themes that kind of led me to come up with a very...
Keep that little smug!
Very interesting theory that you might be interested in.
This is what I got from it, okay?
But what's very interesting about this is that there's basically three types of anti-vaxxer. Three main types of anti-vaxxer. The first one is helicopter parents. Like Tiger Mom, very intense, you know, yelling at their kid to do better soccer practice. This kind of parent. This goes back to like the Jenny McCarthy stuff too. She's kind of the face of this for a while. Then there's the kind of far right people who would think of themselves as like libertarians. Then maybe the most interesting of these groups, the wellness community. Those of us who demand that they
take the towers down now.
Our Father who art in heaven,
take the towers down now.
Okay, that's enough. Some of these articles, like I was reading a Mother Jones article about this, and they try to be like, well, look, the left is also anti-vax too. But it's really not. The thing that these three groups have in common is that they're all some version of libertarian. But the first group, the Tiger Moms, the helicopter parents, being anti-vax about their kids, part of where I think this comes from, and I think it's one person who covered kind of all these groups in their career of writing, is a lady named Barbara Ehrenreich. And if we look at the Tiger Moms, the mom the parents who micromanage every aspect of their kids' lives, this is a thing. Where does this crap come from? And in the 80s, my girl, Barbara Ehrenreich, who wrote, you might have read some of these books. It's like Nickel and Dimed. She wrote a bunch of these kind of books. Great writer, But years ago, I think in the 80s, she wrote this book called Fear of Falling which is about something that people refer to now as the professional class or the professional managerial class you might hear people talk about. And one of the things I thought was most interesting about that book that she talks about is that the professional class are not lower class people. They're not the what I call the undesirables, okay? The sewer rats, I call them. The lower class, they're not working class or lower class or whatever. And they're not aristocracy. They're not born into wealth. They kind of got themselves degrees or they learned a trade like being a doctor or a lawyer or whatever crap. So what she says in this book, which I think is really interesting, is that they're afraid because they're not born into aristocracy or whatever, but they are a higher class than the lower class or whatever, that they're constantly afraid of falling into that lower class. Can't happen if you're born into wealth like Tuck Carlman or whatever. But if you're in the professional class, your kids can fall right down there if they don't do anything right. So you have to micromanage every aspect of these little turds' life. Are they not getting a good enough grades? Oh no, they're going to drop down. And this is my little theory. I think that this is part of where the obsessive tiger mom, helicopter parent version of anti-vax comes from, is this constant obsession. And really it translates into an obsession that something bad's gonna happen to your kid, like that they fall down into the lower class. But you have to constantly be obsessed with everything they're doing. This is where this version of anti-vax comes from. The other one is the second version, in my little theory, is people who call themselves libertarians. These are like people who call in this guy's show. Where is he?
Toilet. Hello, Tushy. Hello, Tushy. Toilet.
They call in his show and they say, I'm a libertarian. I'd like to debate Sam. And then they say, oh, I guess what I believe doesn't make any sense, but I still think that seatbelts are causing a tyranny or whatever.
If you don't pay taxes to the U.S. government, ultimately, I think you belong in jail.
Thank you for saying that, Sam. You're a horrible, despicable person. Thank you for having me on your show.
Daryl?
So kooks, basically. Kind of, it's not their fault, but kind of odd people who have been tricked into believing that libertarianism is a good thing for them. Then the third one, the type of person who we are on this channel, okay?
Take the towers down now.
That's right, the wellness community. People have been talking about the wellness community lately, and there's been a bunch of articles written about it. And I've known some of these people. I've worked with some of these people, and I didn't realize until now that these people are kind of libertarians. The guy who did the Plandemic movie is like a cartoon of a wellness guy.
Keep that little smug.
I'm in Utah. I moderated a panel last night filled with entrepreneurs and philanthropists and innovators, people from Google building robot cars and all kinds of futuristic solutions to very old problems that we have on this planet.
And let me read you something about that Plandemic thing also. The company behind the film made its mark by distributing and marketing the documentary that led to the book The Secret. Barbara Ehrenreich said it best when stating that the self-help techniques inside the book The Secret, quote, ask, believe, receive, unquote, promotes a failure to engage with reality while promoting political complacency. Damn, Barb! Woo! The author, Rhonda Byrne, toes a very old myth. Quote, you're the only reason that you're in the shape you're in. If you're having a problem, that's on you. You're not asking hard enough. This to me, frankly, sounds like
corporate communism.
Mm-hmm. And this Fox News thing is like the perfect little encapsulation, the perfect little movie that we get to watch of what's really going on. Is it's these perverts, these preverts, like Tuck Carlman and all these Fox News goose-stepping perverts. This is just history repeating itself, is that these guys want these people to believe in these libertarian ideas. Every man for himself. If you didn't succeed, that's your fault. So you're this. So you get this. If you didn't succeed, it's just because you didn't
beat a kid in Walmart
hard enough. This is from a New York Times article about anti-vaxxers. The primary reason for healthy people to get the flu shot is to protect those with compromised immune systems. This was actually written before the pandemic, I think. Like infants and older adults from getting sick. But altruism isn't a great motivator for parents. Dr. Butenheim said, quote, they are much more concerned about protecting their own child at all costs. Hyper-individualistic libertarianism. Contrast that attitude with the collective goodwill of the 1950s, say medical sociologists, when American parents who had seen President Frank Roosevelt, what is this guy's name? Roosevelt. Yeah, right. Saw him in a wheelchair as a debilitating symbol of polio, patriotically sought to vaccine their children to help eradicate the disease worldwide. I really think it has taken like 50 or whatever years, probably more than that, of brainwashing. So, of course, it's in Fox News' interest to lie about people and to trick them and for this to be a distraction. But this is also like this is kind of mainstream thinking now. This sort of like there's no collective good, just every man for himself.
You're kind of like a snotty-faced bitch.
Here's another quote from this same pre-pandemic New York Times article about anti-vaxxers. And this is why I started to think about the tiger mom helicopter parent thing, professional class thing. As we adopted a culture of individualistic parenting, public health became a hard sell, Dr. Reich says. This is some idiot who studies this stuff. The definition of a good parent was becoming fraught with the responsibility for overseeing every aspect of a child's life. And this isn't just like parents being weird or they're being Karens or whatever. This is like they are pushed into this. This is like a system thing in the terms that Barbara Ehrenreich is talking about of like, if my kids don't make it, they're going to fall down below and that's going to be a tragedy type of thing. So then you get this kind of in many cases, neurotic behavior. So again, of course these boneheads, of course these idiots.
Bad Barbie, bad Barbie, bad Barbie, bad Barbie. You are morally obligated to beat a kid in Walmart.
It's moral. It's a moral thing at this point. Of course. So of course they don't believe. Of course they don't believe this crap. Of course they're all getting vaccinated. These right-wing Tucker Carlson types. Of course they are, because they don't believe this crap. It just serves their interest to trick these people.
Running water external toilets.
Okay, jeez. Well, guys, these are some...
Those are naughty thoughts! Those are naughty thoughts!
Jeez.
Bad Barbie, bad Barbie, bad Barbie. Those are naughty thoughts! Those are naughty thoughts!
You're kind of like a snotty-faced bitch.
Bad Barbie.
Hey everybody, and thanks so much for watching this video. Like all the other YouTube and podcast perverts, I now have a Patreon. Every week on this Patreon, I'm uploading 2
exclusive
Patreon-exclusive shows. They're like real shows, more produced, more edited.
A behind-the-scenes show where I reveal all my secrets, and a show where we go deep on an important topic that you will want to know about. Also, you get the daily and complete live show audio-only feeds. And at the top level, for only 25 bones, you can become a producer. These people that you're seeing right here make this program possible. Without them, nothing. It goes right in the toilet, right in the trash, and we set it on fire. Ooh, these are the most beautiful people of my whole life. Look at these people. Are you kidding me? Yeah, right. Good, nice try. Good, nice try. Good, nice try. It's these people who make it work. So please, for Christ's sake, become a patron. Bye-bye. Love you.